Many high-profile conservative and counter-jihad pundits and politicians have been urging people to avoid brands like Cadbury this Easter owing to their halal certification. In fact, we have this every year, with uproar about major chocolate makers kowtowing to Islam. And it goes beyond halal certification. In fact, major confectionery brands are removing the word Easter from the front of their packaging entirely. The Sun has reported that only 1 in 10 Easter eggs this year will have the word Easter on the front of its packaging. I mean, I guess these are just non-denominational, non-religious, egg-themed chocolates, right? I mean, they just so happen to be sold at Easter time? Give me a break. To some, it seems like this might be a trivial argument to have, and maybe it is in the grand scheme of things, but this shows a clear appeasement of a minority in England who do not celebrate Easter anyway. So why? We all know they're Easter eggs, so why remove the word? It's political. It's clearly political. The manufacturers know it, the media know it, and the stores that sell them know it. And yet they continue to sneer and mock anyone who suggests that this is a sign of something more sinister. So here's what the press have been saying. There's story after story with left-wing journalists chortling at horrible Christian racists questioning Cadbury on their halal certification status. Water is halal, for instance, as is air, they say. Yeah, no kidding. But that's not the argument, and they know it. Cadbury say that their Easter eggs in the UK are halal but not halal certified. We know what halal means. We know that there are no meat products in their chocolate, and so it's halal by default. Practically all chocolate is. But Cadbury claims that their eggs are not halal certified is only true in the UK. In fact, Cadbury is halal certified in many countries across the world, including Australia, which is why One Nation's Pauline Hanson speaks out about it every year. This is on their own website, and Cadbury does this elsewhere across the world as well. Now, this doesn't change the contents of the chocolate, and the sneering left-wing journalists are either assuming so little of the working class that they think we're just stupid enough to not understand this, or they know that we understand this and they're mocking us anyway. And I really care about halal certification, and so should you. If Cadbury is certifying products as halal, then they're potentially funding terrorism. And here's how. Halal certification simply means that authorities in Islam have confirmed that a product is halal or permissible for a Muslim to consume. Certification works by companies paying a Muslim body to confirm the product's halal. This money is then donated to Muslim causes and organisations that work to promote Islam. So for instance, in Canada, the main halal certifier is the Muslim Association of Canada. The MAC then dishes out these funds to Muslim organisations, including to Hamas-linked charity Irfan Canada. This is a banned charity group that was declared a terrorist organisation by the Canadian Conservative government in April 2014. Irfan received around $300,000 from MAC and is reported to have transferred $14.6 million worth of resources to numerous organisations connected with Hamas. Hamas. There's a long list of extremist Islamic organisations that offer halal certification. It's commonplace, and it's that which we oppose. There's the IZA, founded by the former leader of the Syrian Muslim Brotherhood, Issam al-Attar. There's the Islamic Religious Authority of Austria, which encouraged the use of Islamic textbooks by Yusuf al-Qaradawi, a spiritual advisor for Hamas who endorsed killing Jews with swords and called suicide attacks martyrdom operation. And there's the Islamic Centre of Munich, IZM, which also provided halal certification. The former head of the Muslim Brotherhood in Egypt, Mahdi Akef, was the director of the IZM in the 80s, and today the German government recognises the IZM as the German headquarters of the Muslim Brotherhood. The list goes on and on. Halal certification means funding extremists and potentially even terrorism, and that's why we care about Cadbury being halal certified. It might not be in the UK, but it is elsewhere, and that money goes in part towards funding people who hate this country, who attack us, who kill and rape our children, and who won't stop until our entire civilization is brought crashing down. Certification funds the people who shed blood on our streets, and when left-wing journalists sneer at what they see as knuckle-dragging commoners, they're willfully defending this evil. They're quick to come together and saying don't look back in anger when our children are blown up at a stadium, but they'll do everything they can to mock and jeer people who have legitimate concerns about the funding of terrorists. So this Easter, ignore the jeering, don't buy Cadbury's, go for brands that don't fund extremist organisations. Or better yet, forget the non-religious secular chocolate holiday-style confectionery eggs, stop buying the newspapers that keep lying about us, and have a very happy Easter with your family.
We will make America great again.